I was SVP Global CIO at Walgreens Boots Alliance. Prior to that, I've had a 30-year career in technology working for large international organizations. I'm an independent director. I sit on a number of boards, notably Rackspace and Hitachi Digital. I walked straight in there and I said, look, just to be clear, I don't know what I want to be. And he looked at me and he said, well, actually, the answer to that question is what you want to be is to be yourself.
Hi, Anthony. Thank you for joining me. For anyone that doesn't know who you are, do you want to do maybe 30 or 60 seconds just to give a brief introduction to yourself?
Sure. Yep. You can see from the screen, my name's Anthony. I was latterly in my career, I was SVP Global CIO at Walgreens Boots Alliance, which many people will know is a very large international pharmacy and healthcare business. I did that for 7 years, and prior to that, I've had a 30-year career in technology working for large international organizations. Subsequent to that, I now spend my time in 2 or 3 different areas. I'm an independent director. I sit on a number of boards, notably Rackspace and Hitachi Digital. I also do a little bit of advisory and consulting work around that. Second part of my life is I have a portfolio of early stage startups, all of which have an element of technology in them. And I both invest in those startups and also try and support them with insight, with being there, being part of their board if necessary, at the very least mentoring them. So helping these small early stage companies to develop. And the third part of my life, which is probably more of my passion, is I am I'm the vice chair of a UK-based charity called Venice in Peril, which kind of does what it says in the tin. We have a 50-year history of conserving works of art, buildings in Venice and the Venice area. Not just the physical conservation, but we also sponsor bursaries for students who are involved in art conservation, and we in general try and help with the sustainability of a city which has got more than its fair share of problems. So a little more than 30 seconds, but that's my life.
No, that's great. Thank you for that. So having just to pick one, what would you say is the single best piece of advice you've ever received and then been able to apply in the context of change and transformation?
Yes. Well, you gave me advance notice of this, so I had a chance to think about it. And as I said, I've had quite a long career to look back over. But actually, the best piece of advice I think I've ever had, and which I've applied, came before I even started work. When I was at sixth form college doing my A-levels, they had a role, which I'm pretty sure doesn't exist anymore, in the sixth form called the career advisor. And the career advisor, his or her role was to come and sit down with you and to give you advice on what you should be doing as you go out into the world of work or onto university or whatever. And of course, the question was always, well, what do you want to be? And and it's very interesting looking back, because the sort of jobs that the people said they wanted to be in, many of them don't exist anymore. And actually, the jobs that people are in, certainly the jobs that I were in, didn't exist when the career advisor was helping things out. So, what do you want to be? When I met the career advisor, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and I walked straight in there and I said, I look, just to be clear, I don't know what I want to be. And he looked at me and he said, well, actually, the answer to that question is what you want to be is to be yourself. And being yourself actually is the best piece of advice I think I've ever had, because it gets described in different ways. Now people use rather grander expressions. They call it authenticity, or your inner self or whatever. But fundamentally, it's about the things that you understand about yourself and then you can project into the way that you live your life. I'm not just talking your working life. This is your life in general. If you do that, what you find you get back from people is a number of things. You find you can establish trust with them much better. They sense your integrity. You will get goodwill out of them as well. So by being yourself, by being authentic, it not only makes life easier because you are being yourself, but it also enables you to get more out of people. We live in a world now with Instagram and all the rest, where people seem to want to change what they are. You can physically change how you look. You can make your appearance different. They want to project their own brand of what they are as being something that maybe they're not. And I'm not really in that school. I think that you should be yourself. You should be true to yourself, and you should be your best self. And if you do that, I think you'll find that you'll be able to affect change in other people, because they will come to you rather than you trying to impose change on them. That's my philosophy, I think, now. But I think it's something that would work for everybody. So that's my single best piece of advice given to me by a career advisor many years ago. Be yourself.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it.
My pleasure.